Cinderella phenomenon. Hey, let's go. A princess lives in a monochrome world, broken from the sight through her lonely eyes. It reflects the ocean and stars, but her cry echoes around, a symbol of love in her heart, making this whole fairy tale alive within sorrow's tender embrace. This was never meant to happen. The light of the day, the only reason you have to say, hear me sing my song. Just keep holding on, Cinderella. Why don't you stay with me tonight? We will dance until midnight comes and we could run away. We will never ever be apart. Set aside all your fears. This magic lives inside your heart. Here, would you wanna stay with me tonight? Follow me. We will run across the bridge of fantasies. All the pain and sadness that you feel, leaving me. Hold me close, don't ever let me go. Come and stay with me forever. Magic lives so long as I am here. Hello, friends. Here we are, another installment of Cinderella Phenomenon. I was so mad that I had stopped playing last time. Oh my gosh, things are so heating up. I cannot even handle it. My brain is abuzz with I don't even know what's gonna happen. I'm freaking out. So let's get cracking. Chapter 10. Not like mother. Ah! Okay. Chevalier, don't listen to him. Just look at all of these men you cannot save. All of these men dying before your eyes. You are a jerk. Chevalier, we have to get away from here. How many people have you really saved? In the grand scheme of things, you have no talent. That is why you sought help from a witch. Ugh. I just want to... Okay. Mithras' voice is oddly calm, and I can feel some sort of presence in the air that is different from normal. A knight plunges a sword through another's gut, causing him to lose his sword. The sword skitters across the floor, gleaming underneath the moonlight. I look desperately at Chevalier and realize that the magic is already working its way into him. No! He does not see anyone except for Mithras, who is still smiling at him from behind all of the knights. I glance at the sword, remembering what Chevalier taught me. Mithras is unguarded right now, but I have better judgment than that. I told Chevalier that I was going to steer clear of the burden of taking someone's life. I have a promise to keep. I gaze up at Chevalier and realize that this was how he looked every time he regained a memory, like he was stuck in his own mind. There's only one thing I can think of to get him out of this trance. I clench my hand into a fist. Oh God, domestic violence. And I punch Chevalier in the face. Ow! Gods, my face. Ugh. Impossible. Chevalier's eyes clear, and when he looks at me, I can tell he is distraught, but his eyes are seeing the present. Sorry, I thought I lost you. I suppose I needed that, didn't I? Yes, you did. Chevalier smiles sheepishly. It is fleeting and gone by the time we both turn to Mithras again. Chevalier looks straight past the still fighting knights. If this bothers Chevalier, which it must, he hides it beneath a neutral expression. How did you break my spell? You cannot even use any magic. She didn't break it with magic. She broke it with the power of love. Aww, I stare at him skeptically. We both know that is not true, and I know Chevalier well enough to know that he does not mean that. But Mithras looks furious. Love. As if some fairy tale love could save you from this predicament. Princess, you're a witch. We feed off negativity, off of chaos and loathing. Love serves us no power. Life's about balance. April taught me that. And though I might not be able to uphold a balance of negatives and positives myself, I'm at least gonna try. You could try to do the same. Maybe look beyond your depressing life and start reaching for something that gives you happiness. Something that won't plummet you back into the same darkness. Mithros snaps his fingers and the knights all freeze. Then they turn to us, swords raised. I do not need to be lectured by some lovesick fool. By all means, cling to your love. I will show you how fragile it is. Witches do not need love. Mithros holds out his hands and the knights begin their steady, deadly march toward us. Chevalier takes my hand and pulls me back, but I see my opening in the narrative. Mithros enjoys inflicting pain with his words, and I can do the same. If you do not need love, if you do not need affection, then why are you doing all of this for Mother? I am not. You are doing it to be recognized. Why? Every student wants to impress their teacher. His words are calm, but there is a desperation in them. Mother was Mithros' teacher. I thought he was just reviving her as another witch, but... Do you know Mithros?
It was a long time ago. We both shared the same teacher.
Teacher? Wait. Waltz, are you
a witch? Yeah.
Waltz was Mother's student? No, I cannot think about that now, but I can use this to my advantage. I do not remember Mother's students in the least, but one of them turned out right. The other did not, and I can see the bitterness in you. It is the same bitterness I held, only yours goes deeper. You will not sway me with your foolish words. The knights begin to rush us. Their run is more of a pathetic shuffle given the harmed state they are in, but this does not slow them down. We're gonna run. But trust me, Princess, I will protect you no matter what happens. He grabs my hand and we wait. I can see Chevalier's eyes darting around as he searches for an opening. I can feel the pulse of his quickened heartbeat through his hand, and I know he is panicking. Magic! Suddenly there is a massive, luminescent gold wall in front of us. The knights stumble right into it, their swords hitting the bright barrier. Parfait!
Are you two okay?
Parfait rushes to stand in front of us. Mithros' expression is a cold, angry glare. He measures the situation with critical eyes, and then he turns away and begins to dart down the hall. Parfait collapses to one knee, arms still outstretched to maintain the barrier. Delora appears. She is flustered and bleeding on one arm, but she still stands straight. Delora holds up her hand and summons fire. Put down the shield, Parfait. I have this. Parfait releases a shield and the magic projectiles shoot out at the knights. The two edge the knights back through the hallway, but I can see Parfait growing weaker and weaker by the moment. Parfait takes a deep, shuddering breath as she tries to stand. When she falls yet again, Chevalier takes a step forward and looks at her urgently. Lady Parfait.
I'm fine, don't fuss.
Her breathing is labored, but she still manages a smile.
I fought in the Great War. This is nothing.
She looks at me and Chevalier.
You two need to leave.
But you're...
Fine. I just need to gather my energy.
Oh my goodness. More magic. A spell from Delora sends the knights sprawling to the ground after she creates a heavy downpour of rain that quickly turns into ice. You two keep going. The entrance is clear. I notice the witches that have been standing behind Mithros approach us now. Delora stands at the ready. I can tell that she is hiding a great amount of stress behind her smirk. Parfait slowly gets to her feet.
We fight together, Delora.
There's no one I'd rather have fighting by my side, Faye. Aww. Come on, princess. While we still have an opening. We head around the side. Parfait erects a shield to protect us from any magic that comes our way, and Delora summons a whirlwind as a distraction. Ow! My foot is grazed by fire magic, causing me to stumble, but I force myself into a limping sprint regardless. This is nothing. At the entrance, I pause in the middle of the room. The main entrance hall is eerily silent. And then I see Mithros edging his way into the king's throne room. He is holding tight to Emmeline. He notices me watching and smiles. Then he disappears into the throne room. We have to follow him. Princess, he has Emmeline. Chevalier's posture and expression are indecisive, but mine are not. I know Mithros is baiting me, but I cannot leave her alone. My gaze moves around the hallway as I search for other knights. The place is empty, but it is not long before we hear footsteps. I tense at the sound, and Chevalier holds tightly to my hand. Then suddenly, as the figure draws nearer, I recognize him, even if he seems a completely different, older person. Waltz! I finally found you. Waltz? You broke your curse, but how? Chevalier stares at him in awe. Ooh, he is hot. I now dub you Waltz the Big. There was never a Waltz the Small. Oh, I have no idea how I want to do his voice now. Waltz shakes his head. And I broke my curse unexpectedly. I actually found the item I needed while I was searching around. But I can explain more later. For now, we have to go after Mithros. Do you know where he is? He is in the throne room. Mithros stands in the middle of the empty throne room, holding Emmeline to him. He has his hands around her neck. No sudden moves, you three, or this girl dies. And I do know how much death bothers you. With a start, I realize he is talking to Waltz, and all three of us are frozen. Myth. Traitor. Why can't you see that Hildir wasn't trying to teach us? She was trying to corrupt us. Silence, traitor. You betrayed her. During the war, you betrayed our own teacher. Betrayed. Hildir was corrupted. She cannot be saved. How dare you use her name? Mithros' fingers tighten on Emmeline's throat. I can see the tears running down her face. Her sobbing is quiet, but it still reaches my ears in the silent room. Varg! Varg appears from the darkness as he did before. He smiles at all of us from behind Mithros, eyes glinting mischievously. You didn't finish the job. You were awfully vague when you told me to take care of them. You know, most people would assume that meant entertaining them and offering them refreshments. Obey me. Varg turns to us. He draws the sword he used earlier, but his smile fading. I think I see something like pain in his eyes, but then I think it might be my imagination. He looks stoic as he moves toward us. Mithros is controlling him with magic. When Waltz moves, Mithros' hands tighten over Emmeline's neck, and she cries out. Chevalier is watching everything quietly. The concern in his eyes is muted by the urgency. I follow his gaze around the room, wondering what he is searching for. Myth, is it? You were injured during the Great War. I tended to you once. Stabbed in the stomach. You needed stitches for it. I feel Mithros' confusion before I see it. For just a few moments, though, his gaze is centered on Chevalier, his eyes probing him for information. No one came for you. Your teacher must have thought you were too weak, that you would die. Mithros' hands fly away from Emmeline's neck as he lunges towards Chevalier with a snarl, his expression mad. The room breaks out into chaos, then I feel the rise of magic beside me as Waltz readies a spell, the tension in Chevalier's body as he prepares to shield me, and lastly, I see Varg zip across the room. Everything goes white. When I look up, I see Walt standing in front of me with a shield. Mithras' hand lies flat against the shield, and I can feel the heat of his magic. Varg lies on the ground beside his fallen sword, unconscious from the impact of the magic. Even Chevalier is on his knees. I rush toward the sword. At the same moment, Walt pushes Mithras' back onto the ground. Then, sword in hand, I stand above Mithras and aim it at his neck. The blade touches his skin without sinking into it. Emmeline is hiding behind the throne, staring out at the scene with shock on her tear-stained face. Will you kill me? Mithras' smile is a mere shadow of itself. You saw the soldiers in the clinic today. You saw how close some of them were to death. Did you see the hollow look in their eyes? I've seen that look many times. It is the look of a man who clings desperately to life. Every life is precious, and a life is still a life, whether it's vile or not. It's still the responsibility you have to bear. I know how valuable lives are because I have helped so many people. That desperation is in Mithras' eyes now. A man that clings to life. It would be so easy to slice his throat. I have seen so much bloodshed on this night, and it was all caused by Mithras. If I can kill him, I can stop all of it. But that would make me no better than Mother. I drop the sword. Mithras actually stops to stare at me in shock. I am not like Mother. I will not kill you for revenge. No sooner have I said the words that I feel a sudden heat at my chest. My hand instinctively reaches up to grab the necklace around my neck. My third good deed! And then there was a bright light. When the light clears, a new source of light catches my eyes. Slippers. I stop to stare down at my feet, which are in glass slippers that shine so brightly they sparkle even in the dim light. But I have no time to admire the shoes or the weight that has fallen off my shoulders. I barely recognize that the fairy tale curse has been broken. Emmeline rises from behind the throne and screams, "April, watch out!" Mithras has grabbed the sword with his hand, turned it around, and is aiming it at my chest. It hits a barrier. Parfait stands behind me once more, her face devoid of any color. I did not see her rush in here. She takes a step forward as if to shield me. Out of my way. Mithras draws the sword back and plunges it again at the shield. This time the blade is coated with darkness. It pierces the already flimsy shield, and the blade goes through Parfait's heart. Parfait! Parfait! Parfait grabs the blade and narrows her eyes at Mithras.
I am sorry Hildir did not appreciate you.
Something swells inside of me as I stare at Parfait. The sword is impaled in her, and I can see her eyes go glassy. I cannot speak. Cannot breathe. Walt rushes forward with his magic and pins Mithras forcefully to the ground. He raises his hand, but it never comes down in time. A sword strikes past his shoulder right at Mithras' neck. When I turn, it is Chevalier that is holding it. His body shakes as tears run down his cheeks. Mithras holds his neck as Chevalier holds up the blade and throws it behind him. Out of the corner of my eyes, I catch movement that can only be Varg, but I do not care. Lady Parfait, do not move. We can take the sword out, we can... But I see a hopelessness in Chevalier's expression, and I know that whatever wound Parfait took was lethal. I can see it in his eyes. I can see it in Parfait's.
There is no need to fuss.
When Parfait falls, Waltz grabs her and puts his hand to the hilt of the sword. Chevalier crumples beside her. He looks at the blood staining her dress with sorrow. I start to cry.
April, do not regret this. I am proud of you.
The room is quiet, even with the newcomers that arrive. The knights and Karma watch the scene from the sidelines, all with grim looks on their faces. Last to arrive is Delora, who sits down beside Parfait with her lips pulled into an uptight frown. Her face is stern, but I can tell it's a mask. Parfait.
That look doesn't suit you, Delora.
I told you to stay back.
Had I not been here in time, the princess would have...
Her words fall apart as she begins to cough. Delora leans over her and shakes her head. I'm sorry I didn't come sooner.
Everything is as it should be, Delora.
Parfait cranes her neck to look up at me.
Wipe away your tears, April. What you did was a good deed. You spared a man's life.
But life is not a fairy tale. Humans are good and bad.
No, it isn't. But the fear of death makes a life even more valuable.
Do not worry, princess. I chose this. Parfait smiles. It is mystifying to see her smile while her body is slowly crumbling away in Waltz's grasp. Parfait's body is what gives out first. Her eyes go next. They remain focused on me, still smiling. Her body begins to glow as her body slowly fades away. Parfait. Parfait! Delora turns away. Even if she is not shedding any tears, it is clear that she is heartbroken. She closes her eyes and releases a shaky sigh. Sweet dreams, my friend. I do not know how long we all stay in that room, mourning the loss of Parfait. Karma, Jurian, and Garland eventually spread out to search for any remaining danger. At some point, they return with the king and the rest of the family. My reunion with my family is half-hearted. I do not know what to say to people that I hated only months ago. Despite the quiet, they all take me in with open arms. The king stays by my side long after the others have left. Karma and the knights return to the march to tell the others the news. Waltz goes to search the palace for any remaining resistance. Only Delora, Chevalier, the king, and I remain. Chevalier cries. I've never seen him cry before, but his heartbreak is my own. What happened was a nightmare, but it eventually ended. Last night, Varg escaped the throne room. No one saw where he disappeared to in all the chaos. I'm beginning to believe that his faint was a trick. Since the night had left everyone so tired, we were offered rooms in the palace. I came to my room with Chevalier, where the two of us attempted to comfort each other with words. Chevalier was especially shaken, being the one to kill Mithros. He was in tears for a long time. I am pretty sure that I must have fallen asleep sometime when we were talking, but I am lying in my bed underneath my covers, and though I think for a few moments that it must be a figment of my imagination, it is not. Chevalier is definitely lying right next to me, sleeping beneath those same covers. How did this happen? I put off the recollection of the previous day to stare at Chevalier's face. His glasses are off, and without them, his face seems strangely empty. He looks vulnerable, almost like a child. Except his features are too handsome for that. Oh, what am I thinking? I slowly put my hand to his cheek and flinch when his eyebrows crease. Moments later, his eyes open. They are foggy this early in the morning. What is this? Have I been woken by my princess? Usually it is the princes that wake their princesses. I will always wonder how he manages to keep smiling like this. Even when he is in pain, he forces a smile. But you are no prince, and I am not some damsel princess. Chevalier closes his eyes again and smiles and sighs. Oh, there is only one way to break the spell of sleep. I flush as his lips curl into a mischievous smile. Still his eyes do not open. I think about what happened last night. Parfait and Mithros' death, Varg's escape, everyone else's heartbreak. Before I have to relieve the burden, I can afford to lose myself in some happiness. I lean forward to kiss his smile. I break away from Chevalier, startled. Princess? How distressing. Waltz the Big ruins everything. I quickly slip out of bed and Chevalier sits up and puts on his glasses with a yawn. Good morning, Princess. And his eyes widen when he sees Chevalier. Are you so tired that words have abandoned you, Waltz? Ugh. No, I wanted to see if the princess was doing okay. If you were both alright, actually. He pauses to look at us, his eyebrows furrowed in thought. Though I can imagine just how tongue-tied you must be, you should speak if you have something to say. Walt sighs. I didn't want to bring this up so soon, but it's been on my mind since the whole night. It's just... You didn't have to kill me, Myth. That was my job. Your job? I doubt that. Besides, I didn't want to kill him. It was a reaction. The room goes silent for a few moments as Chevalier stares down at the floor. He told me before that lives were valuable. That is why I tried to save Mithros, but in the end, my sparing his life forced Chevalier to carry the burden of his death. He has already told me that it is not my fault. Parfait said that what I did was a good deed, but still, killing Mithros saved us more casualties. I hope I can convince Chevalier of that. Most likely he will wrestle with that guilt for a long time. I turn my attention back to Waltz and will the questions to the back of my mind for the time being. Like, I feel like it would have been a better good deed for me to go ahead and kill him that way to save Chevalier the responsibility. You know, take the responsibility onto myself. But I guess that's not true. Waltz, there are questions I need to ask you. About how he broke his curse, about Mother being his teacher, about Mithros. There is so much to ask him, I do not even know where to start. We have plenty of time for explanations now, Princess. After your birthday, Delora and I will pick up your magic education. But for now, you should rest. I'll give you the full story of my apprenticeship and curse another day. But Princess, Chevalier, I just thought I'd let you know, but that when Parfait came into this battle, she expected to die. She told all of us that while we were sitting around trying to plot a rescue plan. I glance at Chevalier, who nods quietly. Was it because of her frailty after the Great War? Or did Parfait somehow have a feeling? Oh, and also, congratulations on breaking your curse, Princess. Chevalier sits up straight, his eyes narrowed behind his glasses. Waltz, I was supposed to congratulate her first. Chevalier stands and kisses me promptly on the cheek. My cheeks blush, and even Waltz looks embarrassed. Congratulations, my sweet. It was all very dramatic when your curse broke. There was bright light and... Wait. Why was there no bright light when I broke my curse? Both Waltz and I burst into laughter. Chevalier just sighs dramatically. He leans against my shoulder, and I do not protest. I have a feeling that getting through the memory of last night might be easier with him here. If anyone can put a smile on my face, it's Chevalier. We hope to see you again at the Margin soon, Princess. I will be back. After all, I have friends there. Aww! Did I speak falsely? No, of course not. It's the truth. Anyway, I need to get going. I've explained what happened to your father, but you should talk with him privately soon. After everything that happened last night, speaking to the king is the last thing on my mind, but I suppose it must be done. Thank you, Waltz. And you, Chevalier. Might want to ask for a guest room. But no bed is as comfy as the princess's. I nudge him without realizing it, but Chevalier just laughs. Ah! We promise Waltz that we will see him and everyone else in the Marchen soon. Afterwards, Waltz hurries out and shuts the door. My eyes go to the edge of my bed where something shiny catches my eyes. The slippers. Aww. The glass slippers are a reminder of everything that happened yesterday. Of the fact that life goes beyond just black and white. Good and evil are subjective. They're also suggestive, but mostly subjective. In the end, life is gray, Mother. Both good and bad. But even so, even though fairy tale endings cannot exist, I still want to live my life with everyone else. Mithros centered his life around a single person. He was selfish. I will become someone better than him. Thinking about Mithros makes me remember something. Chevalier, yesterday you said that you took care of Mithros during the Great War. That no one came for him. Was that true? I don't know, April. He acted like it was, though, wasn't it? So you never knew Mithros? No, I didn't know him at all. I don't know if I would have been able to strike him down if I did. I don't know what burden he carried, but it seemed heavy. I only guessed at what I could say to distract him. I'd heard rumors of a strong witch that went abandoned for many years. That may have been him. It might not have been. So deception exists in everyone. But it is not entirely what Mother said it was. Okay. There we go. My birthday is tomorrow. I sit in the throne room speaking to my father, who has listened to my tale with patience. When it is over, he looks at me, sadly. I owe you an apology, April. This whole time you have been on your own, and I could not do a thing for you. You can now. Starting first by explaining what happened between you and Mother. You knew she was a witch. I did. You did too, before she forcefully erased your memories. I tried reaching out to you many times when you were a child, but my efforts were met with resistance. Still, I cannot excuse myself for what I have done. I truly abandoned you. I'm sorry for that, April. Man, she had a rough childhood. I will explain the story to you if you give me time. For now, I would very much like to mend my bond with you. To be honest, the king still angers me. He only apologizes now after all of this has come to light. Whether or not I was difficult to speak to, he still had an obligation to seek me out. He's still late to care, but he is still my father, and I can forgive him. I can learn to trust him again. It will take time, but I would like to mend our bond. I would also like to try speaking with Emmeline, Rod, and Ophelia, but that will take time. The king smiles at me. It is one of the first honest smiles I have seen from him in years. We have time. All of the time in the world. And we will mend our family bond, I promise. As I turn to leave the room, the king calls out to me. April, I am proud of you. More proud than any other father in the realm could ever be of his child. That's so sweet. I'm so emotional right now. I'm sorry I haven't even been, like, commenting on anything. Oh my god. All of that happened. I feel like I'm on the verge of tears now constantly. Oh, I was, like, sobbing through all of that. Ah! Okay. After what happened, we searched for Fritz, but he has vanished. Mithros and Varg said that they had replaced him, but they never said anything about what happened to him. I'm calling it that I think Varg is Fritz. They have the same character design. Either they're the same person or they're, like, identical twins. Yeah. Oh god, I hope Fritz is Now I'm wondering whether they are identical twins, and they killed Fritz. Ugh. We searched endlessly, but to no avail. All I can hope is that he is safe, and that I will reunite with him again in the future. Oh, Walt's performance today was amazing. Don't you agree, Mr. Chevalier? Ah! Eee. I agree. You ladies looked especially charming with so many lilies floating around you. Oh, you flirt. Oh my. Oh, she's blushing. He always speaks like that. Don't mind him. Ah! It has been a whole month since the events at the palace. My birthday has come and gone. Now my life begins. I have been practicing magic with Waltz and Delora, attempting to bond with my family, and visiting the Marchen when time allows me to. Anise was overjoyed to see me visiting often. Since Chevalier operates from there as a doctor, I visit often. Mostly, though, he clings to me like a leech. Oftentimes I find him in my bed when I could have sworn he was sleeping in another room for the night. Sometimes at night he has nightmares of blood on his hands and of Mithras' death. And at those times I am glad to be sitting right next to him so I can promise him that things are all right. As for the fairy tale curse, I have no idea how April puts up with you. Oh! Wait! Oh, okay. Wait. I have no idea how April puts up with you. At least that's a voice, a stand-in voice until I figure out how to do him. Rod's voice comes out from between his lips. Now he can actually speak. Since the fairy tale curse was tied to Mother's still living soul in the crystal, her disappearance and my taking her place immediately caused the root to vanish. I've been working for days to break everyone's fairy tale curses with magic, and when I am done, no one in this kingdom will have to suffer from it ever again. And now the Marchen is not just a place reserved for the cursed. Now it is open to the public. April enjoys it, though. She finds my poetic weavings to be the best in the kingdom. What he means to say is I can only put up with them because of our relationship. Loving someone so much you can put up with their nonsensical poetry. I thought you were the nice one, Princess Emmeline. No, she has a point. Emmeline focuses her attention on a musician standing off in the distance. She points excitedly, then rushes after them, pulling her brother with her. Her guards follow. Ever since the incident at the palace, we have had more security. I do not blame the king, even though it can be tiring at times. Luckily, he is more lax with me. When I told him Chevalier was going to be with me, he settled with having Emmeline and I share guards. And so I get to be alone with Chevalier often. Father was wary of him at first until he found out he was a renowned doctor. Now he and Chevalier get on well enough. Chevalier takes a step closer to me and I place my hands around his arm. Aw, look at us, we're so cute! I am no prince, nor am I a knight in shining armor. I'm just a doctor, and a doctor who has been blessed with the most beautiful woman in this world. Chevalier begins to lead me through town again. He is one of the only constants in my ever-changing life. He is the one that will always make me smile, and we share a burden, the burden of a friend's death. He is more burdened with nightmares than I am, and while I wish I could do more to help, I can at least listen to him, just like he listens to me. No matter what the burden, it can be overcome. April? Yes? I love you more than anything in this world. I love you too. We share one kiss, ignoring the spectators in the town with a shared smile. Then we follow after Emmeline. Aww. Aww, is that the end? Aww. What a fun game. Okay, well, I know that I'm going to do another path. I think I'm going to do Rod's next. Oh, look at him. So sweet. So serious. Now he's smiling. Oh, the piano arrangement of the opening song. Through her lonely eyes, it reflects likes the ocean and stars, but her cries echo at night. Aww. Aww, I'm smiling. Oh, when he carried me up the stairs because I was sick. Aw, I'm gonna miss Rumple. Chevalier. Chevalier. I've called him so many different things this game. Kissing. Aw, I like this one a lot. I like this portrait. Look at his earrings. I didn't realize he was such a bad boy. Oh, Cinderella, won't you come and stay with me tonight? Ah, da, 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 da. Aww. I loved it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me while I played this game. I'm definitely planning on playing the next route very soon. I'm gonna just do rods next, is my plan. And, oh, thank you for playing Cinderella Phenomenon. Thanks for making Cinderella Phenomenon. Yeah, gosh, oh, this was so much fun. Feel free to follow me on the relevant social media that I'm linking below. And, like, subscribe, comment, do all the stuff. Thanks so much, guys!